to the 10 at 10.
Today we will hear from our people reporting live with information about the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, as well as national and local news.
We will also be covering the live weather, sports, and traffic.
With the presidential election coming up here in the fall of 2024, Donald Trump has been under a lot of fire. Let's hand it over to James Sander for more information.
Thank you, Andrea. Pro-Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol after a rally with President Donald Trump on January 6, 2021. The Supreme Court will soon consider to hear appeals brought by people charged with offenses relating to the January 6, 2021 assault on the U.S. Capitol in cases that could have a major impact on the criminal prosecution of former President Donald Trump. The justices are weighing three different appeals brought by defendants Joseph Fisher, Edward Lang, and Garrett Miller. The three men are seeking to dismiss a charge accusing them of obstructing an official prosecuting, namely the certificate by Congress of President Joe Biden's election victory, which was disrupted by a bunch of Trump supporters. If the court rejects the appeal, a lower court ruling that allowed the government to pursue the charges against the defendants will remain in peace. But if the justice takes up the case, it could lead to a months-long delay while they hear oral agreements and issue a ruling sometime during the court's current 9-month term, which ends in June. At least 4 votes are needed for the 9-justice court to hear a case. Back to you, Molly.
Thank you, James. Today in a 10 at 10 exclusive, we will show an interview with Putin on the Russian position in the war in Ukraine. Putin has not conducted an interview with a Western country in over a year. Now over to our chief foreign correspondent, Braden Schindler, with the interview.
Mr. President, let's get this started. With the 2-year anniversary of the launch of the special military operation that led to the war in Ukraine, the fighting overall has ground to a practical stalemate. Are you convinced that this war is still winnable?
I believe that this war is winnable and will be won in the coming months. With that the people of the Donbas region and to the south liberated from Ukrainian occupation.
Interesting. Would you today support a resolution for a peaceful end of hostilities?
Russia does not want war. We will agree to a peace arrangement that ensures that their oppressed peoples are liberated from the Kiev government. Until then we are forced to fight for their liberation.
Briefly, there are rumors about your health deteriorating. What do you have to say to those rumors?
Nonsense. I am in very good health. Please excuse my cough. I am in very good shape and have never felt better.
Thank you for your time, Mr. President. Even though our countries disagree, appreciate you taking the time to sit down and conduct an interview. We are going to take a quick break, but our broadcast will return back better than ever after this short message from our sponsor, Butter.
I am Weatherman Tate Tomer, and I like butter. Butter is healthy, it is nutritious, and it is good for you. Butter! The weather for today, or for this week, is going to be mainly in the mid-40s. On Sunday, we will be expecting heavy rain showers and with lows in the 30s. Then throughout the week, we'll have it's going to be partly sunny, and on Tuesday it's going to be a rain and snow mix. So watch out on the roads. The roads will be slick. Here in PC, it's going to be 40 degrees, so it's going to be a little nippy out. And down here in Norwalk, there's going to be some frost, so make sure in the mornings you start up your vehicles, get the frost off. Then for Tuesday, this is what it's going to be looking like. In the Fremont area, we're going to be getting around a 1.5 to 3 inches of rain, while up here in Michigan will be freezing.
Thanks, Tate. Due to the heavy rain, there was a report of a black SUV that had hydroplaned causing a multi-car pileup on I-75 South. There is 1 fatality and 4 injured, and life flight is currently on the scene. Major delays are expected, so plan to take an alternate route.
Thank you, Tate and Marissa. Now off to Lexi for the local news.
Thank you, Andrea. Good morning. And today on your local news, we're going to be at Oak Harbor High School interviewing students and staff for the new documentary. This documentary is about the LGBTQ plus community, and we're going to go interview Mrs. Tomer. Today we're here with Mrs. Tomer asking her about the documentary. So what is your opinion and views on the Hulu series?
I did watch it last night. My opinion and my view on that is I feel our community is very accepting of everyone, regardless of their race, their gender, however they want to live their lives. I feel our community is very accepting of that. My opinion on how it was portrayed, though, in the documentary is, unfortunately, I felt our community was the opposite of what I just said. I felt that we were being shown as not being accepting. Everybody should live their life the way that they should. And I felt bringing in our school and our community here kind of pinpointed us as maybe not being that way, that we're judgmental, and we're definitely not that way here at Oak Harbor.
Did you see any differences between everybody talking and like the differences between each like school and everything? Did anybody else pinpoint their schools in that documentary?
No, they did not. The only other one that they had used was Des Moines, Iowa, and that's a very large city. It would be like saying Columbus here. Pinpointing just our community being very small, rural community, I felt really put us on the spot and did not make us look good for the entire nation to see.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
your opinion.
Thank you.
Hi, we're here with Vanessa Cray asking her about her opinions about the Hulu series. What are your opinions and views about it?
I think it's a really good Hulu series to show the different types of people and families that live in the Midwest, because it's typically a conservative type of environment. I like how Mr. Weber's views and opinions showed everybody involved, even people who maybe don't support him but still love him. Overall, I think it was a really good series.
Do you think that he said anything about the school that could possibly hurt the school? Do you think he said anything bad?
I don't think he said anything bad. Everything he said was true. I can understand where some people would be coming from, where they thought maybe if he was like talking about the bullying that happens, how that could put us in a bad light. But I feel like things like that always come out about the school. This isn't any different.
Well, thank you so much for your opinion. Welcome back. We're here with Mr. Raver, who was actually on the Hulu series. We're gonna ask him, so how did this all start? So did they come to you? Did you come to them?
That's a question that I've been trying to rack my brain to remember, because the filming was actually quite a while ago, and there was a time before that where they were basically collecting information, and I believe they came to me, but I don't know how that process really all happened. I sort of remember answering a lot of emails back and forth between myself and Melinda, who is the director, just providing information about our family, about our situation, and then it sort of took off from there.
So what are your opinions and views on the Hulu series itself?
Well, obviously I'm a fan of it because
Right.
I'm part of it, but I think when I watched it for the first time, and they flew back out to Ohio to give us a private viewing, because I was a little concerned about how we had been portrayed,
Right.
but I wanted to know the other families.
Right.
When I was done watching it, I wanted to know their stories, and I wanted to know them personally. And when we flew out to LA for the premieres, we got to spend time with each of those families and hear their stories and learn about their struggles, but also, you know, the positive things that were happening in their lives and their community. And that's, I think, what I took away from it the first time. I think it's a very accurate depiction of our lives,
Right.
and of the things that we, you know, the positives and the negatives that we face in the Midwest.
Right. So what do you think other people's reactions are about the Hulu?
I would hope that it would be positive. I would hope that in almost 2024, that we've evolved and that we've moved that narrative forward. I'm sure there will be negative comments. I saw some negative comments online, but the reaction that I've experienced has been overwhelmingly positive and supportive. So I guess that's kind of what I'm expecting.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for having us interview you and letting us do that.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Lexi. The war in Israel is getting more intense each day. Reporter Skylar Turner is live on the scene in Israel to bring us more information.
Thank you, Molly. The ceasefire began on November 24th and was renewed twice before ending. Under the truce, fighting was paused and humanitarian aid was allowed to enter Gaza as Hamas released captives in exchange for Israel releasing Palestinian prisoners. The truce then ended when Hamas bombed Jerusalem, resulting in Israel sending fighter jets to bomb Gaza. Now back to Andrea for updates about the presidential election.
Thank you, Skylar. The presidential election is approaching in the next year, and there is lots of talk about a third-party candidate gaining more votes. Reporter Tate Duso is taking us around the school to ask more opinions on the topic.
Thank you, Andrea. With the 2024 election being right around the corner, polls are constantly being released. In the most recent polls, Biden led with 39% of the votes, Trump followed closely with 36%, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in striking distance, taking 22% of the votes. This has opened the door for a hypothetical three-way race for the 2024 election. Today, I went to some potential voters and asked them what they thought of a third-party candidate getting so much interest. Here's what they had to say.
I'm here with potential voter next year, Mr. Corey Hartman. Mr. Hartman, how you doing today?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. What do you think about a third-party candidate gaining so much interest here recently?
I don't really know the dude. I don't really care. I'm a Trump boy myself, so Trump's coming back. He's going to make a difference, and let's go, Brandon.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tate. To round out our morning, let's head over to Danny Allen for a sports update.
Thank you, Molly. I'm Dan Allen, senior football analyst, and welcome to the sports section of the show. Football has had some crazy events happen over the past 4 days, but let's start off with the NCAA, as they are ready to go bowling as bowl matchups in the CFP have been revealed. The final CFP rankings have been revealed, and people are not too happy with the committee's decision with the top four. The people already knew that Michigan would be number 1 and Washington would be number 2. Those were the easy decisions. But people aren't too happy with what the committee did with the rankings 3 through 5. The committee put 12-1 and Big 12 winner Texas at number 3, and they put the 12-1 SEC champs Alabama at number 4, absolutely ripping off number 5 Florida State, who finished 13-0 and won the ACC. The rest of the top 10 goes as follows: 12-1 Georgia at 6, 11-1 Ohio State at 7, 11-2 Oregon at 8, number 9 Missouri, who finished 10-2, and Penn State rounding out the top 10, finishing 10-2. The CFP semifinals are set as Michigan will take on Alabama in the Rose Bowl, while Texas and Washington will face off in the Sugar Bowl, both on New Year's Day. Meanwhile, other interesting bowl matchups include number 7 Ohio State taking on number 9 Missouri in the Cotton Bowl Classic. Number 5 Florida State versus number 6 Georgia in the Orange Bowl, and number 23 Liberty, having the best Group of 5 finish since the 2021 Cincinnati team, who went to the college football playoffs, will face Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. You cannot forget about these local teams, though, as Toledo, who is sadly coming off a loss to Miami, Ohio, in the MAC championships, will face Wyoming in the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl, and while Bowling Green will face Big Ten Minnesota in the Quick Lane Bowl.
Thank you, Danny. That is all today on the 10 at 10.
Thank you for tuning in.